Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Bourbon with Bros. It's, second podcast now?
Second one.
Second official one.
Numero dos.
But we're glad to have everybody back. Hope you enjoyed the first one. Tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different. I think we're going to dive into a couple different bourbon tastings. But, Jim, you've got something a little special prepared for us. What do you got?
We do. We're going to do a little pairing with our bourbons tonight.
Do I have to drink with my pinky up?
Generally, yes.
Okay, cool.
So the idea behind pairings is
Ambidextrous.
each of the things in this tray are going to bring out a little something different in your bourbon. So you get some of the sharpness from some sharp cheddar cheese, the smoke out of some Gouda, a couple of dried fruits. The different nuts are going to offer a little bit different flavor profile when you're sipping on your bourbon. And then there's two types of chocolate to try to see if you taste anything a little bit different.
Well, heck, let's dive in. What bourbon we going to do first, Chris?
So the first one we got is a Boot Hill. It's from Hill Distillery. All right, it's just their bourbon. So I visited this place back in probably 2019. I was working out in that area, and somebody told me they made a rosemary mule, which obviously is not anywhere near anything I like, but my wife was with me, so we went up to the thing, and by my surprise, they had some bourbon. So that was awesome.
Whereabouts was this place?
It was in Dodge City, Kansas, of all places. And so we toured the museums and stuff while we were out there too. But so I bought a bottle or two, brought it back, really enjoyed it. I think I shared it with you, Jason, and I think I shared it with all you guys.
Yeah, that first bourbon night we did.
So just something I enjoyed and thought I'd share it with you guys tonight. A little story behind them, from what I know, is that they actually bought their building in 2014 and then created the bourbon. They have their own farm, so it's from their farm to table, basically, type bourbon. I think it's a 51% corn, 49%. A little loud.
Oh, he wants to get a good cork pop.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, 59% corn and 49%. What the hell?
Wheat?
Wheat? No.
No.
Barley.
Barley?
Yeah.
Malted barley or rye?
I had a note right here anyway. There it is. No, it is 49% wheat mash. Which everybody knows I'm not a big wheat guy, but this is just one that I really enjoyed. So
I'll pour while you talk.
Okay. Again, it's a family farm thing. I've met the folks twice. I was back there again this last summer and bought you guys all a bunch of different bottles. So we got the rye and the red and whatever else they had there. But
What's the age statement on this one?
it's only a 5-year, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
This is a 90 proof. I didn't see an age
It
statement
is a
on the
90
bottle.
proof.
that's a 4 or a 5 year. That's dark for a 4 or a 5 year. Especially because Kansas isn't exactly known for its warm weather.
Darker char.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic nose.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they get like really, really dry summers and freaking frigid winters.
Kansas is the place they say is so flat you can see the back of your own head.
And you can smell the cows for 1,000 miles, that's for sure too.
Oh boy.
You get to Kansas City and you can see Nebraska.
Surprisingly, for a 90%er, or 90 proof, it's got a little ethanol on it. Just on the nose a little bit.
That drink's hotter than 90.
Really?
Not bad, not in a bad way.
No.
But I mean, if you compare this to remember the last episode we did when we drank that 90 proof, what was it, the Green River?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, right.
This has a touch more heat than that 90 proof Green River. I mean,
And you get a little bit of the ethanol in there.
This is evidence that proof doesn't always equal proof, right?
Well, I think aging makes a big difference too, and
True.
we didn't see an age statement on the bottle, so this
No,
might be
I
a
tried to
little
look on
younger.
their site real quick.
I can't imagine that Green River was older than 5. But this is a lot more subtle.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really, really good. I mean, I remember this from when we had it the first time at your place. I mean, if I recall, you had this in your top 5 ever, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can definitely see why.
I was there again this last summer, and we talked a little bit about the different bourbons that we like, and I taste tested some of the other stuff that you guys wanted me to bring back. Well, they had a bottle on the shelf that was behind the bar, behind the cash register, that they didn't just serve to anybody, and she brought it out and she poured it to me, and I drank a little bit of it, and I said, that tastes a lot like a Heaven Hill, and she goes, that's made out of sorghum. And if you don't know what sorghum is, it's just like another, like a wheat plant type thing. But I know they use it a lot in like cereals and stuff that they make. Well, I can tell you that I'm not a big Heaven Hill fan. They're regular, mash. But I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was different. Drinking something that, 4-year-old sorghum. And they just said a local farmer had a bunch of it, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they tried to make another whiskey out of it. So
Interesting.
Sorghum used in molasses or anything, or
honestly, I don't know what it's all used in. I know they find that.
I'm clueless when it comes to that. So
yeah, you find it in a lot of southern states. I don't think we dealt with much of it up these northern Ohio states, but.
Well, I mean, the 2 bottles we picked out for tonight are definitely not from what you consider to be typical whiskey producing states. I mean, you think of bourbon, Kansas is not the first thing that pops into your head.
No.
The other one we got, we'll talk a little bit later, is out of Nevada. So, I mean, the common misconception is to be bourbon, it's got to be made in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the bourbons we all know and love come from Kentucky. But there's so many other states doing so many other cool things. I mean, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Missouri, Texas. Well, Texas is debatable, but
So I am going to make 2 recommendations for pairing for
All right.
this, just based on the aroma.
okay.
This is a little heavier in the oak, so I'm going to say the smoked Gouda, which is closest to Chris over in the corner.
That yellowish one.
We're going to try that with it first,
All right.
and then I'm going to say that we're going to pick out either an almond or a walnut on the second tasting.
All right.
So what are you getting out of it without the tasting first?
It's actually a very subtle bourbon.
Yeah.
No
I'm
one
getting-
flavor stands out for me.
I'm getting a little bit of a hint of caramel, little bit of like a nutmeg. Definitely the oak that Jim mentions, but it's understated. It's kind of like, I'm in the next room.
It's a good flavor. It's just all the flavors in it are very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
they combine well.
Yeah, I say they blend together beautifully.
It's just very smooth to me all the way around. It's just a little sweeter for me, which is what I like in a bourbon.
Cheese.
I don't like a sweet bourbon, but I like.
I don't know where your
something a
fingers
little
have
sweet.
been.
I do.
Oh God!
I went for the R rating tonight.
I need an adult.
Talking about the lips again, or
All right, so munch the cheese, drink the bourbon.
we all decide to eat and nobody's talking at the same time.
I know.
That's right. That's the advantage of editing.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a fat guy. If you give me food, I'm gonna eat it. So
Yeah, that tray will be empty before you know it.
yeah, stay tuned for our next episode: pizza and beer.
Hank Hill.
So that was a
Yeah,
smoked
boy, I'm right.
Gouda.
Okay.
You
Wow.
get a little more of the smoky oak flavor in that bourbon.
That
Definitely more of the wood flavor.
totally brings out the oak more. Yeah. Not in a bad way. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of a heavy oak tasting bourbon. I don't want to feel like I just licked a tree.
Right.
But that gives it that little bit of subtle smokiness.
Which, if you guys watched, the first podcast, we talked about the smelling, the little smelling
aroma
kit
kits.
the aroma kit that we're gonna get. Still, for some reason, we didn't get it at the point we're doing this one, but so that's why we're doing the food pairing this time. We'll do the aroma kit next time.
Well, as a logistics guy, you should have this whole supply chain crisis thing.
Get that figured out, buddy. Do better.
We'll call Amazon on that one.
Damn you, Bezos.
even
All right.
nosing it now,
I'm gonna have to do
Yeah.
more bourbon here.
you get a lot more of the oak just from that,
Oh, yeah.
that palate.
All right, so then you said walnut or almond next.
Correct.
All right, I go for the
All right,
walnut.
well, I'm already out of this, so I'm
There
gonna have
you
to pour a little bit more.
Oh, look, so am I.
I'm gonna do an almond.
Good walnut.
See, this is one of those times I'm glad
little
we're
more?
filming at my house because I don't have to drive home. That's a good size walnut.
I'm
Looking good.
Grab over here and get to that.
All right. So if my doctor is watching, you said eat healthier, unsalted nuts. So there we go.
I guess you weren't sweating today.
and I was R-rated.
Oh right, God.
Sorry, I mean, sometimes you just gotta throw that stuff out there. People want to hear us laugh.
Thank you, Chef from South Park. Hello, children.
So it is amazing. You get kind of a little bit more earthy flavor out of the
Yeah.
almond. A little nutty, a little earthy flavor.
Normally, anytime I'm drinking bourbon and I'm thinking a nutty flavor, it's always a beam, right? Anything
Yeah.
from beam has that
Yeah.
nutty flavor to it. This gives it that kind of nuttiness, but I still get the subtlety of the caramel. I still get the oak. It's not the overpowering nuttiness that you get, from a beam, which, don't get me wrong, I like, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a very unique flavor.
I'll tell you one of the coolest things Toby and I got to do last year is our wives took us down to Loudonville
The Mohican area
to
there.
the
yeah.
castle, right? And they actually did a food pairing thing. We thought it was all bourbon, but it ended up being bourbon and beers. And, they made a pork belly and served it with the special reserve weeded. It was, for not being a weeded guy, you could just like the brown sugars and stuff
Yeah.
came out of it with the barbecue from that, and then they, I can't stand Guinness, but they made a chocolate Guinness cake
Oh.
and then served it with the Guinness, and it just like totally changes
Changed
the
every-
flavor of
changed
stuff.
The whole
So
thing, and it did.
kind of the same thing doing this. It's
Well, I'll tell you what,
it's amazing.
when we do a podcast around St. Patrick's Day, every year I take Guinness and I cook it down with some brown sugar to make a syrup and make Irish old fashions with it. You will like that. I promise you that.
Well, my first experience with really pairing a bourbon with food, we were at the Galt House in Kentucky several
I love
years
that place.
ago. It was when Basil Hayden Toasted first came out. And we bought a bottle of that and a bottle of Stag Junior and took it back to our hotel. We went over to the restaurant, the one that revolves in a big circle, and we all ordered a dessert. Took it back to the room that night, and somebody had ordered this giant piece of cake, and we cracked the toasted, and everybody grabbed a fork and took a bite of the cake. It was just the most amazing. I had never had bourbon that tasted so good with any food.
Yeah.
And then we started experimenting after that to
yeah.
see.
I just love there was a time you could just go buy a bottle of Stag Junior.
There was a bottle of Stag Junior to be bought.
Yeah.
That was so that was in Kentucky.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Gold House in downtown Louisville is a really cool place.
yeah, we had a blast there. We actually went down during an ice storm, and almost every place was closed.
Shoo.
So we were only able to go to some of the smaller restaurants and bars that were still open. Amazing time. It was like Cheers. When you walked in, everybody knew your name because they only had 10 people that had gone in there for the last 4 days.
Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse is right down there by the Gold House too, right? Yeah, when I lived down in Bardstown, I remember going to Jeff Ruby's a time or two, and gotta love a steak I can cut with a business card. Just fell apart.
And Doc's is down there. They had over 800 bourbons on the wall. It was amazing. I would never pay $2,000 for a pour of bourbon, but there were several on their menu.
All right, what do you think, guys? Time to rate this one.
Yeah.
I don't know, I might have to have another piece of cheese.
I did it with the apricot, right?
It's supposed to be an almond or a walnut.
What was the fruit though?
That's an
That's an apricot,
Yeah.
and those are dried cherries.
So I
tried it with the
tried it with the apricot, and it just brought out a much more sweeter flavor to it.
Oh, damn it. Now I
Almost
gotta try that.
almost like I was maybe pulling a pear or something taste out of it. I don't know. I mean, it was just a little bit sweeter because of that. So, but I'll start. I mean, obviously, I told you this is one of my favorites. It's more of a bourbon that I like to drink. It's a little on the sweeter side, but not like it's not like Kool-Aid like that cherry wine one we did in the last
Oh God,
one,
yeah.
right? But this is gonna be like a 3.6, 3.7 for me. I mean, that's how much I enjoy this.
While you were talking, I tried that apricot, and I agree that it really did pull the sweetness out. Not like a weeder sweetness, but just balances that oak a bit. It's just crazy how much what you eat just suddenly changes the flavor profile of what you're drinking. I mean, I agree. This is a solid 3.4, 3.5 for me. From the moment I first had it, when we tried it at your place, it was fantastic, and I was so thankful you were able to get us a bottle.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm about a 3.3, 3.4. It's top notch. I mean, like I said, the flavors are all just, they come together perfectly. So I really enjoy it.
Well, I'm not quite with you guys. I'm going to give this like a 3-1. I like a standout flavor in a bourbon where you can really pick something out. This is good, but
A little too subtle for you?
Yeah, everything was very subtle. I'd like at least one flavor to be the star of the show with the bourbon, and this didn't really have one. It was good. I would never turn down a pour of it, but it wouldn't be one of the first ones I ever grabbed out of the bar.
Yeah. See, I think that goes back to like we talked in the last episode that you two can smell a lot more than Toby and I can, and you can pull out more flavors, I think, than the rest of us can. That's why I'm really looking forward to like these and then the aroma kits to try to learn a little bit more. And so, the different burns and flavors and things for me, is just the sweetness and stuff. So that's where it goes to who, the differences in who we are and what we do as bourbon drinkers.
Yeah.
So
Solid bourbon, but
Absolutely.
yeah.
Alright.
Well,
I didn't enjoy it as much as you guys did.
Well, our second bottle for tonight is the straight bourbon whiskey from Frey Ranch out of Fallon, Nevada. This is a 90 proof as well, so it's going to be a pretty apples to apples comparison between the two. Similar to the Boot Hill, Frey Ranch is a grain to glass distillery. They use a little bit different mash bill. This is a 4-grain mash bill, so it's a. Can I borrow your glasses, Chris? Because I'm old and blind apparently.
We did put it on the big screen.
So this
we
is
could see.
60. This is 66% corn, 10% winter wheat, 11% winter rye, and 12% two-row barley that they malt on site. So, they grow everything, they malt it, they bottle it, or they distill it, they bottle it. So it's a good cork pop too.
Yeah.
Beautiful. They make they're uncut, the farmer strength. I love, but compared to 121 proof to a 90 proof, kind of isn't a fair fight. So let's give this a pour around. And then Jim, what would you want to give it a sniff and then recommend what we pair it with?
Yep.
Let's give it a taste.
Let's have a sniff and a taste.
Ooh. You can definitely tell that this has rye and barley in it. Compared to the Boot Hill being corn and wheat only, you can definitely tell this is a 4-grain. On the nose, it's got a lot more complexity. And then you can tell the difference too, because Free Ranch, their straight bourbon whiskey, is a 5-year, which I imagine the Boot Hill's a 4-year or a 5-year. You can definitely tell the color difference. This is that temperature difference of Nevada.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more of that urethane smell on it to come out.
Ethanol.
The
I hope
urethane-
there's no urethane in there.
Good night.
Maybe we've had one or two today.
It's actually very.
That's not what they mean by getting shellacked. Okay.
I'm scraping shit today.
It's
yeah.
very corn
That was a good
forward.
Yeah, you know. I get one like every quarter.
That's very corn forward with a little, little fruitiness on the nose.
I definitely, I cheated. I drank it already.
Me too.
I get a lot of the red fruit on this one, where I'm getting cherry. I'm getting plum. Not nearly as much oak as was on the Boot Hill.
Oh no,
No, not at all.
not even on the nose at all. It's probably a little bit lighter toast than the barrel.
Mm-hmm. I'd be curious to know what char they put on both these barrels.
It's a little more peppery too on the whole
That's
front and
that
back end of
That's
it.
probably that winter rye
Yeah, that's
that's in there.
And it's not hot, but it should be like just a little bit more peppery on it.
So do you get it on the front of the tongue or
Both.
the back of the
I'm getting it
tongue?
on both.
Both.
Okay.
All right, what would you recommend pairing this with?
I'm gonna say going with something sharp,
Okay, so the sharp cheddar,
the sharp cheddar
and then maybe the dark chocolate.
and the dark chocolate. There are some cherries there since you said that you got a
Alright.
very forward cherry.
I'm gonna try the sharp cheddar first. Or it could just be that I'm hungry. One of the two.
I got the pinky out. Don't worry.
It's when you grab your cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't pillows.
Thank you, Prince Toby. Okay, first off, that's damn good cheese.
That's a very sharp cheese.
Wow. I remember the first time I gave my daughter, so she's 30 now, but when she was like 7 years old, had some cheese and was like this. It was a sharp cheddar, but it was a white cheddar. She wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because cheese was supposed to be orange.
Craft singles, huh?
Yeah.
A friend of mine at work said I told her to try some white American cheese, and she said, "There's no such thing as white American cheese." And I was like, "No, there is." And she thought I was lying to
So
her.
cheese isn't supposed to have a Z in it.
Right?
Holy cow.
So that took the
changes-
pepper
it's-
off
it's
the
a-
front
Totally.
and just left a little bit on the back, made it a little bit sweeter for me. I don't know that I pulled anything out. Let me try it.
Oh, that mellowed that bourbon out
yeah.
so much.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
I mean, the flavor in that cheese is just so robust that like it.
I'm gonna go cherry before I go chocolate.
Yeah, definitely made it sweeter
So
compared to the sharpness of the cheese.
well, try another sip now that that cheese is washed down.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think, Toby.
I'm gonna go chocolate. Would you say they're salted and regular?
This
Dark.
is salted
dark.
and that's
Yeah.
dark.
Oh yeah,
I want the.
it's still. I mean,
I
to me,
want the cherry.
like it does. It just makes it more flavorful because I think that the robust and that how robust that cheese was, it just made it boom, and it just brought out more flavor.
All right, so here's something crazy. So I tried the cherry and tried the bourbon. The total opposite of the cheese.
Really.
It mellowed the sweetness and brought the pepperiness of the rye that's in it back to the forefront in a good way.
You would, yeah. I mean, you would not think
Dried
that's-
cherry.
Thank you, sir.
I did the chocolate. I'm cheating. You going ahead?
Oh,
of
don't
me?
mirror. The chocolate's next. Dark chocolate is my dark chocolate is my jam.
Love dark chocolate. Okay.
Definitely, like you said, with the raisin or with the cranberry or cherry,
Cherry.
is it brought more of the peppery out on both, but it went down the throat hot with the chocolate.
Oh, that's a
Which-
90 proof, right?
Well, for a
Yeah.
90 proofer is crazy
Yeah, it gave me a lot more heat swallowing, which almost made me.
because we've all drank more than enough barrel proof whiskey. Where 90 is like, it's friggin' water.
Yeah.
Take a nose after that cherry, though.
Okay.
Now I get the oak.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of leads us into a conversation. Then when you said, we all drink more barrel proof and stuff,
Yep.
right? I mean,
Yep.
we talk about your everyday store shelf, right? Which is, just how many thousands of barrels that
yeah.
they mix together.
Yep. So
Right.
Small batches.
yeah. When you look at the front of a bottle, there's always those different terms on it. They can get confusing. Small batch versus single barrel versus barrel proof versus full proof.
Cast
They're-
strength.
Yeah, cast strength. So small batch is the easiest one of the bunch to kind of figure out what it is. Small batch is just a single batch of bourbon. Could be 50 barrels, could be 800 barrels, could be 5,000 barrels. It's going to be the one that's the most uniform in taste across different.
You know
bottles
what
that
you're
you buy.
getting when you buy
got
that
it.
bottle.
You got it. Single barrel, much different. Every bottle that says single barrel, every drop of that juice came from the same barrel.
What was the original single barrel bourbon?
Blanton's. The very first marketed as a single barrel.
Trivia question for you
very
too.
cool. So barrel proof, cast strength, barrel strength, all interchangeable. As it comes out of the barrel, that is the proof it goes into the bottle.
Right.
So if it comes out at 137.5, it's going into the bottle as 137.5. Full proof, a little bit different. So you'll see full proof on 1792 full proof, Weller full proof, Green River full proof. Full proof is it goes into the barrel, let's say at 125. As it ages, it grows to 132. They'll then add water to bring it back to 125, so it comes out at the same proof it went in. So they get a little, it can get a little confusing. The funny part is barrel strength, small batch, single barrel. Those are all regulated. The rules behind those terms are cast into law. Full proof is kind of a gray area, but the distilleries usually are pretty good about it goes in as it comes out.
So on the single barrels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it's one, but when we talk about small batch compared to like the Jack Daniels, I mean, how many thousands of barrels do they pour into a Jack Daniels to mix it?
Yeah.
Compared to how many, and again, you said on the small batch, it could be 50, it could be 100, and
It's
that
really-
depends on what distillery, right?
Exactly. It's going to depend on the size of your distillery. So like
And what their age statement is.
Yep.
If they say it's a 4-year, they will only take the number of 4-year bourbons that they have sitting in that rick house.
Yep. Yeah, and and if something is labeled as a straight bourbon whiskey, that has to be a minimum of 2 years old as well. So, and trust me, you don't want to drink 2-year-old whiskey. Don't drink 2-year-old whiskey, whatever you do.
That's, yeah.
You
That's
might as
considered
well
a
eat
whiskey. That's
local-
not going to be considered a bourbon because a bourbon has to be 4 year minimum.
Two.
Two.
It's only 2.
Yep.
Okay, I'm mistaken.
But you might as well go to your little bread oven and take the bread out an hour before it's done
Yeah.
and take a bite of it. 'Cause
Right.
it is very yeasty.
I gotta try the dark chocolate
That's what
now.
I was looking at too.
I tell you one thing I'm looking forward to is if we can get into the Buffalo Trace Rack House tour, where they're going to take you from each level in different rack houses, upper, lower, and you get to try it. From what I understand is you get to try it straight from the barrel on those tours. And whichever area that you like that from, you're going to get a bottle of that Buffalo Trace from that section. It's not that barrel we tried, but from that section.
That dark chocolate with this bourbon.
I got a nose full of ethanol when I tried that dark chocolate with it.
As I said, it's
Yeah,
more powerful
you're
coming out.
you're
of
not
it. Taking the
you're not
sweet.
wrong, but man, does it just heightens the flavors when you sip it. Give it a sip, it heightens the flavors.
It
right
does.
off the
It
bat.
does. Pulls it right out.
I remember a couple years back.
I gotta hand it back down.
Oh. A couple years back, I was down in Louisville, of all things, for a bowling tournament, and I was down there by myself. So I popped into. We weren't bowling till like noon every day, so I popped into different distilleries each morning before we had to bowl. I remember going to Angel's Envy, just because it was there.
Right there.
Hadn't been. Angel's Envy, not usually my favorite. I mean but they were doing tastings, and similar to what you got here, Jim, they did tastings with a pairing. And that rye that they have, that rye finished in Caribbean rum, they did it with a dark chocolate. Oh my Lord. That was breakfast in a glass. That was phenomenal. You got the maple syrup flavors. You got the citrus flavors. It was phenomenal. That's the only reason why there's a bottle of Angel's Envy rum on my shelf.
Yeah, my daughter, I think I mentioned the last time we were talking about my daughter being a cheerleader, and a couple years ago we went down to a cheer competition in Louisville, and we got there, and as soon as I carried everything in, all my suitcases, my wife's, my daughter's, everybody's luggage, I carried it into the room, I set it down, I said, is there anything else we need to do? She's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, I mean, if there's nothing else you need from me, I'm running out for a minute. And she was like, okay, whatever. So I went out, checked out a couple stores.
Cheer Dad out.
Yep. Brought a bottle back and sat down and had a couple drinks that night and went to bed and woke up the next morning bright and early as soon as I could and drove downtown Louisville and went to a couple of distilleries down there.
On Whiskey Row?
Yeah,
Forester and stuff
went
like
to
that.
Old Forester, went
Nice.
to drove down to Michter's and there's just their storefront and came back and hit a couple liquor stores and did the same thing. Went down to Angel's Envy and picked up a bottle there and it's fun and I did all that and back to the hotel room and the girls were both still asleep and I got back in the room and said, you know, I hit three liquor stores and 3 distilleries in like 2 hours. And it's like I think
Yay, Toby!
yes. Like, let's go. So I'll come down here anytime you want us to come down here. I will be here, dear. So
That was like a Navy SEAL mission. Get in, get out.
I do the Gouda with this Frey Ranch.
I got a swallow left.
Yeah, all the sweet stuff definitely brings out
Yeah,
the heat, the pepper, you know, and then the sharp stuff kind of sweetens it. It's weird. It's definitely changes everything every time.
Try the nose after doing the Gouda. It is so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But then take a sip, and it is so
It's like
different.
a chameleon. It's just bouncing back and forth. I like that.
All right,
Well, you
so-
guys at home comment on this, like, how do you take your whiskeys, right? How do you take your bourbons? Do you take it neat? Do you take it with water? Have you tried any of these? You know, let us know. I mean, tell us what we should be looking at. What you guys like when you do it.
To be fair to the previous podcast, though, I'm going to add a little bit of water to each of these.
Yeah,
there we go.
that's not a bad idea.
I did that to the Boot Hill already, and I liked it straight. I liked it better just the way it was instead of adding the water to it.
All right, so the Frey Ranch, Chris.
I'm gonna try that a little more. We got a reason to drink. We keep trying different things so we can keep drinking.
Yeah.
1
Yeah,
to 4,
we
Chris.
needed an excuse.
What's that?
1 to 4. What do you put the Frey Ranch at?
You know, like you said, is we try different things, and when we're doing 2 in a comparison, but I mean, I'm not gonna go against my Boot Hill. I'm gonna put this probably because of the extra pepper on the initial pour, right? And the extra, I wouldn't say burn, but just the lesser the sweetness and stuff. This is probably like about a 2.93 for me. Just a little different from what I like. So, but you know, again, as you try the saltier or you know, the cheeses and the stuff that brings out, it brings that pepper down for me, which makes it a little better. You know, and then when you try the I did that backwards, didn't I? When you try the sweeter, it brings out the pepper more. When you try the pepper, it brings it a little sweeter more. But yeah, I'm gonna probably say a 2.93 for me.
For me, I love everything Frey Ranch does. They make really, really good bourbons that I love. You know, a 4-grain blend and a grain to glass distillery. That being said, head to head with the Boot Hill. As much as I love Frey Ranch, Boot Hill just nudges just above for me. I mean, where Boot Hill was a 3.6 or so, the Frey Ranch for me is like a solid 3.3. If this was the uncut, I'd probably bump it up a bit because I love a higher proof bourbon.
We'll have to do the uncut next time.
I'll do it as soon as we shut the camera off.
Quick.
We're not done
Yeah, we're
filming
out,
yet.
yeah.
Let's grab another one.
We're in overtime.
No, the Frey Ranch is the first time I've tried Frey Ranch, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it probably about a 3.2. And like Jay said here, I think I'm more of a higher proof guy. I mean, I don't. Occasionally, I like that.
You're a
that,
proof queen. We can say it.
Yeah, I like that.
He's a
What
dancing
100,
queen.
100, 120 is like my sweet spot. And I like that. So I think that's why I'm a little bit lower on this Frey Ranch than I was on the Boot Hill. But the Boot Hill is really good stuff.
So I'm actually going to rate this a little bit higher. And I'm very surprised that something from Nevada ends up with such a good rating from me. I'm going to give it like a 3.4, 3.5.
Wow, nice.
It's surprisingly flavorful. I think there's a couple of standout flavors compared to the Boot Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I look for. I don't dislike a blended flavor in a bourbon, but I want something to stand out a little bit.
Well, and definitely, I think the one thing that we can learn from this is, when you're walking through your local liquor store, as cool as everything from Buffalo Trace is and Heaven Hill and Wild Turkey, there's a lot of great stuff out there from other distilleries you wouldn't think of. Whether it's Frey Ranch, whether it's Boot Hill, Ben Holiday out of Missouri, any of the bourbons out of Indiana. There's a lot of cool stuff out there that just doesn't get the hype that it should. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, drink what you like.
Yep.
But there's just some neat
That's
stuff
what
out
it
there.
comes down
I
to.
mean, Jim and I talk about this all the time. Like, there's so many good bourbons at a $30, $40, $50 range that compare to your $80, $90, $100 range bottles.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of try a little bit. One of my go-to, I wouldn't say so much go-to, but one of the ones that I really like for like $19 is the Rebel 100.
Yeah.
Like, I can drink that mixed. I can sip it straight. It's not a favorite for Jim, but I mean, it's just there's so many out there that you don't have to go and spend and get your collection up to, $200 bottles to look cool.
No.
It's what you're gonna drink,
Yep.
and what, like we always say, it's meant to be shared, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just what can you drink with your friends and enjoy it and sit around and talk about it and do these kind of things. And
Well, and quite frankly, a bottle that sits on your shelf that doesn't get opened because you're proud of it and you don't want to open it and you just want it to be a status symbol, you might as well just go buy a painting.
I mean, Toby, that's where we came up with it's meant to be shared, right?
Yep.
You listened to a podcast with Freddie,
Right.
right? And
Yeah,
those-
Freddie Johnson from Buffalo Trace, he's the one that kind of brought this all to fruition for us, because we talked about it so many times that it's like there's no point in having bourbon sit and not be open because of just what we're doing right here. I mean, that's why we're doing it, because we got to drink it. I mean, it's made to be consumed. It's not made to sit on a shelf. So the story that I shared with you guys about Freddie and popping that bottle and him drinking it with his dad and his brother, and within a few months they were both gone and he didn't have them anymore, and they drank that bottle of Pappy, and he wanted to save it and he shared it, and
That's a memory.
Exactly. That's what this is.
Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of nights I've sat downstairs in this bar and drank bourbon by myself after a long day at work.
Right.
And
4 days a week we see a posting from you.
Hey, why have a bar if you're not going to use it?
Right. You gotta have it.
And don't get me wrong, every one of those pours hits, right? But it hits different when you're with friends.
When you sit
Because
with your
it's
friends
not-
and talk about it.
That bingo. It's not just about the whiskey. It's about the experience. It's about the stories. It's about the laughter. It's about the jokes. Sometimes it's about the hard conversations, the difficult conversations, the ones where you really get down and you get real. we say bourbon with bros. It's not just hanging out and drinking bourbon together. Sometimes it's about getting real with each other.
Yeah.
Because over the last call it 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, what it means to be a man has changed, right?
For sure.
We've all
More than
yeah.
some of us like to
I know. We won't get into that.
Oh, good.
But the definitions change, and the fact of the matter is, when you're with your bros or you're with your buds, you can be more vulnerable. You can open up because
Well, you should be more vulnerable with your brothers.
Yeah.
because you can say what needs to be said.
Right.
No one's going to take it the wrong way, and you move on from it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I could sit here and sip this Frey Ranch by myself.
Yeah.
But sitting here and sipping it with you guys, sitting here and sipping it with some good dark chocolate, I think that's salted chocolate, actually. The salted chocolate's really good. It takes it to a different level.
Yeah, I mean, I looking at all of our histories, right, and going to each other's homes or whatever. There is not a bottle in my cabinet right now that you can't touch.
Yep.
Right? I mean, if you walk into my house and say, "Oh my God, I've never had a Pappy 13 before," hey, have a pour.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be like, "Don't be a pig about it,"
Yeah.
right? But
And don't mix it with Coke.
I'd like to share.
yeah,
I'd like to share it with other
There's
people.
no Coke at my house to mix it with.
but yeah,
Now, selfishly, I only have one bottle in my collection that's got a trigger to it, kind of like your Sinatra. You're waiting for your grandchild to be born, then
Right.
you're going to drink the Sinatra.
Yep.
This Heaven Hill 20 over my shoulder. That'll get cracked the day that my son moves out.
I thought both of your boys were moved out.
No,
He's got one home?
Grant's still here.
2075.
Damn you.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I had a rule when I created my bar. So I actually took an old TV console, like one from the 70s. It's, what is it, probably 6.5 feet wide and 8 feet tall. I converted it into a bar.
And weighs a metric ton.
Oh, yeah. I had a rule that no bottle went into that bar until it was cracked.
Okay.
I have about 170 bottles right now. Every bottle in there has been opened. Because I want anybody that comes into my house to feel comfortable going in there, not asking, "Oh, is it okay if I open this bottle?"
Yeah.
It's already been cracked.
Well,
It's
I
been
mean,
tasted.
Any bottle that's at my house that hasn't been cracked, it hasn't been cracked because I've been by myself. I'm not gonna
You're
crack
waiting.
that bottle by myself. I'm gonna crack it with my bros here.
Well,
So
and we've all stood in a line.
Yeah.
Or waited outside a liquor store or distillery waiting for a bottle. We don't do it as much as we used to, but
Yep.
the one thing that I think drives any of us crazy is seeing the guy in line in front of you who you know is going to be posting a shot of that bottle in between his legs in his car when he gets back, so he can sell it on Facebook.
Yep.
It's like, dude, flippers, I got no time for flippers.
Yeah.
Bourbon's not an investment.
Yeah. No.
No,
That's
absolutely.
That's why, I mean, when you see these things and they're posted on the secondary and they're 60 to 80% or 100% marked up, like you're just never gonna buy it because
600% marked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous that
I remember walking into a liquor store in Indiana, just across the border from Ohio. They had Weller Special Reserve behind the counter in a glass case for $259 a bottle.
Which is a $29 bottle.
You can drive 10 minutes into Ohio and buy it for $29.
right. Yeah.
Have any of you guys ever bought like secondary? I know actually Jason's probably got a couple, but
I
have.
like, have you paid like a crazy amount on a secondary?
did.
What'd you get?
Michter's Toasted.
Yeah.
I was looking for that bottle for 7 years.
What'd you end up paying for it?
$429.
Oh,
and it's only a $49 MSRP. But I'd looked for it for so long that I was like, and I hadn't bought a bourbon in like 5 or 6 months. So that's how I justified paying for it. And it's good. It wasn't a $500 bottle good.
My usual rule is I won't pay more than 15% over MSRP. I have one bottle I broke that rule for, and that's the George T. Stagg. Okay. So a buddy I know owns a bar, had an extra bottle, called me, said, "I got a bottle." I'm like, "What do you want for it?" He says, "Well, make me an offer," which I hate. Just tell me what you want. Don't ask me to make an offer. So it's what retail is like $169, I think. It goes for secondary, usually north of 1,000.
Yeah.
So I offered him 400. He countered back with 550, and I paid the 550. So that's the most I've ever paid for a bottle. Probably the most I'll ever pay for a bottle.
Right.
But that was my first ever BTAC, and it was George T. Stagg, which we had the one time when we were at the old Huggies in Vermilion.
Believe me, that's beautiful.
Yep. And I'm like, I gotta have a bottle of that. And we cracked it actually for the first time, the three of us, one night, which I don't remember the end of, but we cracked that. And at the end of the day, it's just money, but it's not a habit I want to get into.
Right.
I mean, like I said in the last episode, my
Because
unicorn is King of Kentucky. King of Kentucky goes for $2,000 on secondary.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to pay that. I'm just not.
I've never bought anything other than MSRP. Not one bottle. I don't stand in a lot of lines. I mean, I've been known to visit our local place in Ohio here that on a Saturday morning, but if I'm 30 in line, I'm walking away. If I'm 4 in line, okay, maybe I'll stay for a few minutes and see what's going on. But
that is the cool thing about being in Ohio is if we're buying a bottle at a store, it's MSRP.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've paid more than MSRP at liquor stores, but I never went crazy. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more, but it's not crazy. It's I don't know what the percentage is over, but I would never double up or anything like that. It's just not going to happen to me. I mean, said what we talk about. It's meant to be shared, yes, but we're not going to, break the bank just to do that.
Yeah, and Jim always, Jim's the one who always tells me there's plenty of $40 bourbons out there that taste better than $200.
Some $25 bourbons
Yeah.
that are just unbelievable. Old Granddad 114.
Yeah.
It's less than $30, and it holds up.
1792 foolproof.
And that's something I think
Green River.
I think we intend on getting into in the future here, as long as we can keep doing this, to do those kinds of things and just and say, hey, and do some blinds and say, we're gonna throw some things in that you don't expect it to be there, and it may end up trumping some of the stuff that we think.
That's what we've done on these first couples. Like, I mean, we could sit here and do Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace and Blanton's and all the stuff everybody else does. Right? I mean, it's been done 1,000 times, right? We're trying to do different things to give people an idea of different options out there.
Right.
There might be a time where we get into some of that stuff.
Well, and we talked earlier about the terms on the front of bottles, single barrels. Don't sleep on single barrels.
Oh yeah.
If you've got a favorite local liquor store and they do store picks, give those store picks a chance.
That's what I do. I mean, I go to a place, if they got a store pick sitting there, more than likely I'm gonna buy it.
And if you find a liquor store that has a guy who's doing their store picks that matches your palate, that's your honey hole. Because everything he picks is going to be right in your wheelhouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have a funny story about that. I was in Elcott, New York, doing salmon fishing, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 years ago. And I walk in, and I'm just seeing if they have the Eagle Rare Blanton's, because it's up in the sticks. And they have a Dickel 8 there. I like Dickel. It's solid bourbon. So I was like, and they actually had tasting there, and I took a taste. I'm like, all right, that's not bad. It was store pick. I bought 1 bottle. I took it home, and when I cracked it, I opened it up. It's like, this is probably one of the best bourbons I've ever had in my life. I shared it with 10 other guys that drink bourbon. Called up the Elcott store, and they were sold out. It was one of my biggest regrets.
To only buy 1,
Yeah, and Dickel is solid bourbon.
Yeah.
I probably have 10 different bottles in there, but
it's amazing what a good single barrel can do. I mean, I've got a bottle over my shoulder here. Like regular Woodford I love, right? So I went down to visit my daughter in South Carolina. Driving home, hit Southern Spirits right on the border of South Carolina, North Carolina. He had a what's it? World's second best liquor store is what they called themselves.
Right.
he had a bottle. It was their store pick of Woodford called 76% DC because they said it tasted like 76% dark chocolate.
I'll take that too.
And
Might as well get a little
goddamn,
bit
if
more.
this thing doesn't taste exactly like dark chocolate, it is the best bottle of Woodford I've ever had in my life. And it was $40. It's insane. You were about to say something about singles.
No, I just saying that I mean, any time I go someplace and I already mentioned it, you know, the store picks. It's just when you sit down and drink that store pick. If you put it in, I've got a Woodford store pick. You were talking about Woodford before, and you put that next to a standard Woodford, and you compare that, it's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. The difference between those two, and just those single barrels, it's incredible. And I'm hoping that we can all get together and do those kinds of things in the future too, and share that with everybody.
So are the store picks always single barrels?
They are.
Good to know,
Typically,
right?
yeah.
So there you go. Our
I mean,
education
so
for
a
the
lot
day.
of these distilleries, when you go there, I mean, you have the opportunity now where you can do half barrels, full barrels, but that's what it comes down to is yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all on the registry for Buffalo Trace
Oh, yeah.
Rack to get right. You know,
Heck, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, definitely. The next few months, you know, stay tuned. You'll see us do a barrel pick, and we'll bring you along with us.
Yeah, we got a couple of new contacts. that
And the
we're
cool
working
part
with,
is,
and-
we'll bring along with us to see how we go through and do the store pick. But then you get the chance to actually try and buy one of the bottles we pick.
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap this one up for us. You know, if you like what we like individually, we're all a little bit different. Just follow us. Our website should be up and running here pretty soon.
It's actually up now.
It's up and going. All right. So he's got it there.
Bourbon-with-bros.com.
All right.
Down in the left-hand corner, just click it. You'll get there.
Bourbon with Bros on TikTok, Facebook. As you know me, I'm
YouTube.
going to tell it every time. Have YouTube, like and subscribe. So every time we say that, we drink.
Got a drink.
Thanks for joining
Cheers,
us.
everyone.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Till next time.